All right, and we're live.
Hello.
Welcome.
Welcome back to, and I'm spacing on our podcast name right at the beginning, the Late Game Link podcast. I always do that. I like wind us. I listen.
I mean, we're not doing our socials enough. That's
we are. That's the thing that's going to lock it in for
Yes.
us. But welcome back to the Late Game Link podcast.
Yes. I'm Robbie.
I'm Derek, and yeah.
Every week, if this is your first time listening to us, we get together, talk about anything and all, I guess, under the umbrella that could be considered nerdy, different media, books, movie, TV, video games. It kind of, there's no clear path. We're just
which I feel like is to our benefit because I feel like it's easy to get really locked in on like a podcast concept or and I like podcasts that are like we're watching every episode of Glee that's ever aired, like that's cool. But also I like the freedom that we have to
we really can talk about anything.
And
you can comment anything that we would like to talk about as well. So I mean it works out good.
Like and subscribe, of course.
Right now I don't think we've had a comment yet. We're still
first.
In search for a first on episode.
You would
10.
be immortalized. We're gonna have to acknowledge it on the podcast.
Yeah, we will.
So you have the opportunity to be immortalized.
Not everybody at once, but I'm just saying. So we kind of have a little bit of a structure every week. So we like to start with our kind of like topics of the week, things that sometimes are current events, like news that came out, but also maybe just something that we interacted with during the week since us getting together to film and record. So I guess I can start here with some topics of the week.
Go for it.
I sadly, in previous episodes, I talked about how I was going to make a promise not to buy a game till the new year. Well, the promise has been broken.
Heard.
Just because, and it's going to go into my recommendation. So I'm not going to say what it is yet because it is the recommendation. But sadly, I have failed. So I'll still take it. Getting one, just one, and I'll talk about why, I guess. Or I can now. I spoke about how I'm not always a big multiplayer. What?
You're getting a phone call.
What is going on? I swear we never had problems, and then it's. You better not call me again. All right, see it?
Yeah.
This proves to everybody. I swear we're doing it live.
It is happening live.
There's no edits. We truly just rip it. So
again, part of the appeal.
Hopefully, I don't get that call again. The person who called is liable to call again. So we will see. I should probably put on like do not disturb or something. Anyway, so I'm one of those people where it's difficult sometimes to play multiplayer games like by myself. I usually will play with friends when I do. It's because I kind of have the mindset of if it's a single player game, if I have a single player game that I'm playing, play that unless I have friends to play with a multiplayer game. Then it's like a social aspect for me. So because of that, a friend said he was real into this game and it looked cool. So I was like, all right, I'll have a couple friends to play with, and I kind of caved on that. So I'm excited and it's like a big game. You've probably heard the name before, but I'll talk about it in the recommendations. But that kind of brings up, I did want to have the question of, because this game could get me, I feel like it's a good gateway game into playing a multiplayer game by myself and me still enjoying it. So I kind of wanted to bring up that topic again. Specifically, wanted to ask you, what are your thoughts on playing multiplayer games? Because this game has an aspect, there's a lot of communication that is involved, like communicating with strangers. So my thoughts, or I want to know your thoughts, and I'll have mine, on how do you feel about playing multiplayer and having to communicate with random people? And I've kind of already said how I feel, and this game might make me want to get more into it.
I definitely, have been interested. Like, I recently, and maybe I was not going to talk about this today, but
all right.
I got back into League of Legends Mobile recently.
Okay.
I wasn't going to bring this up because I'm ashamed, but I did recently start playing a few games. I had a 9-game win streak ranked with this new character that came out, who I'm really into. It's like a support tank character, and that just always appeals to me so heavily. Yeah. But like that's the type of game where like people do that on comms. People do that, typing messages to the chat saying let's go here, let's go here. I don't communicate with anybody beyond drawing the attack thing to an area on the map and then it pings, you know what I mean? Like doing pings and stuff.
Yep.
I like pings. Mm-hmm. I was talking on like voice chat and like online games like around like 2020. Like I think I've talked about like Overwatch. I played a little bit. Mm-hmm. The people on Overwatch are how I found out about my gay voice. They made sure to let me know how I sounded when I was talking into the mic. So I avoid...
In a good way or a bad way?
What do you think?
Well, I'm just assuming about it. I was like, maybe you like actually found some friends.
No, no. I think there's like a toxicity to voice comm and even Marvel Rivals. I haven't really tried on Marvel Rivals with like randos to communicate, but I've heard stories from friends who do that a similar thing kind of exists across the board in like an online thing. So I don't usually do like voice chat with strangers, but I've had some. I say all that to say I've had some good experiences in the past with that as well. So it depends. I definitely prefer it in like with people I know.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, I definitely. It's never appealed to me, and I don't know if it's because maybe I don't feel as relaxed anymore, like sitting on my couch playing, because it's like now some stranger is hearing the words I'm speaking. Like, I don't know, it makes me feel a little like socially weird, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel that way, but it's more when we're talking to strangers when I'm with my friends, right? So say there's a squad of 4 in whatever game you're playing, and there's only 3 of us, so there's a random person in our squad, then like that's fun, because it's like I have other friends that we all kind of, try to have some camaraderie with this random person. But yeah, I don't know. I think there is a lot of negative times, but then I think, well, theoretically, if you just place yourself in front of a stranger and are forced to have a conversation, how many times is that going to be like not a conversation you want? Like, it's going to be a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So it's...
And there's an amplification of that comes from like maybe the competitive environment. I think that there are genuinely just like a few bad apples in the competitive mobile like gaming voice chat thing. But I think people adapt to the environment. You know what I mean? Like people even when I used to play Overwatch sometimes, like and maybe I'd be in the voice chat, but I wouldn't be talking. But there would be someone who, like, is getting picked on for, like, maybe the way they talk, or they're a woman or whatever. But then there's, like, toxicity done in, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it ends up, nobody wins because everybody just gets, like, really, really nasty to each other. And because it's the environment. I'm not saying that to blame any particular party, but... I think if you go in with, like you said, 3 friends and 1 rando, you're more likely, like...
to open up and, have a decent conversation. I don't know. I just think I just had this thought now. I thought it was funny. It's like, have you heard of those scenarios where somebody will meet a random person online gaming and they're like, oh, I had like a really good time with that person. Let's add each other as friends. Like, this happens like very frequently. Maybe not for you and me, but a lot of people do this. Like, millions of people do this. And it's like the new age pen pal. Like, I think it'd be kind of cool to like frequently play a game with a person that you've never met.
Yeah.
And you don't see each other. I guess pen pal is you're written, but all you do is just like talk and you just like play the game. I don't know. I'm a little envious of people that have like had good times with people online like that through gaming. So I don't know. Maybe playing this game, and I'll explain why.
I was going to say
I will be interacting with random people. Even if I play it by myself and I'm not on a team, I still have to theoretically communicate with other people. So anyway, maybe we'll get into more of that. But I just thought that was something maybe people listening to could also give their sort of experiences on, because I'm sure there's people out there that will be like, actually, have you ever heard those seen those videos or heard those stories? There's people who are like, oh yeah, we've been playing was back in like the Halo days, where like we've been playing Halo for years. We all just finally decided to like meet up, and they had like a great time. They like meet in somebody's city that they live in. And they're like, we just did a weekend, and like we all met each other. I was like, oh no, it's kind of sweet. I don't know.
I feel like I remember like being on like Tumblr back in the day and seeing like a story or something about a similar thing, like Halo friends. You played, with this person, and then like it's like a group kind of form, but they never met or even like really knew what each other looked like. And then the one person's like mom was like had X terminal illness and passed away, and they all went to the funeral. Like there are genuine connections being forged in this like in this setting, and I do like that for sure.
Yeah, like, so I don't know if that pertains to you and you've had good experiences. That's cool, and let's hear about it. Because I like when that happens. It just rarely ever happens to me. Also, two what would be drops of the week, or I guess like 2 drops. I don't know. We need to come up with a better word of that. So, releases.
Yeah.
There we go. Kirby Air Ride came out for the Switch too.
I did see that.
It probably is also for the Switch. I don't know. But I'm excited for that. Again,
because you're a racer.
Not purchasing it. Yeah, I like racing games.
You are a racer.
I love the first Kirby Air Ride game. I never actually owned it, but there was a kid in my elementary school where I would go over to his house and we would rip this game all the time, and I loved it. So when they announced that they're making a new one, I was like, I already broke my thing buying one game, but I'm still trying to hold fast and like still not buy any games until I finish some of the ones I'm playing.
Yeah.
But I will probably in the new year, I will be getting that. So that's exciting. I just, I don't have any review on it yet, but I am excited to get that. I like when they take an old game like that and make a sequel in our like new consoles or whatever it is.
To be honest, I had not heard of Kirby Air Riders until this game was announced.
Really?
I had no familiarity with the property.
It was like a niche. It was a very niche game. Like if you know, it's like one of those things. Like most people don't know, but if you know, it was like that game was sick. Like it definitely flew under the radar. Like I said, I never even owned the game. I just like knew through a friend who got it because I guess he was like a big Kirby guy in general, and so when a game came out for the GameCube, he was like, "Oh, I'll get this," and it's like completely different than any of the other Kirby games.
Yeah, Kirby Racing even it's like it's a fun, interesting like I don't know. I don't want to say departure, but like direction for Kirby for sure.
Well, it's also like what is it called? It's like an arena game or like a battle royale racer. It's like Twisted Metal, like the game Twisted Metal, but Kirby.
Oh.
I mean, I think there's other game modes and stuff,
but it's not like a Mario Kart. Yeah.
No, it's multiple people like in like a map, and you're trying to collect power ups in different like vehicles to like kill the other people.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. I realize I've not looked into Kirby Air Riders at all. So
yeah. Well, and there could be a Kirby enthusiast listening to this. This could be wrong. It could have came from somewhere else, and I'm not sure. But in like a different Kirby game, in Super Smash Bros, where you collect the 3 pieces of that like kind of like pinkish like merge. Feathery like vehicle that then you ride and you like kill somebody with.
That's Kirby.
That's from Kirby Air Riders. Like that's like the like one of the best like. You have to go around the map and collect those pieces, and then you can like get this like really nice vehicle. That's like the best one. It goes really fast and can fly, like all this stuff. So that's just an example of, it has been mentioned in other games, and like people do know about it, but it's like very niche, I guess, compared to like Mario. So yeah, I'm excited for that. And then lastly, which I will have a personal review of the Mighty Nein, of the first episodes that came out.
Oh yeah,
they're out. I don't know if you've watched it or not.
I put the first episode on and I did not lock in. I was cleaning, so I didn't lock in to watch. Yeah. I have not given it a fair shake. I will say, I really, really enjoy the monk character from the looks of it. I really enjoy what I've been able to gather of that character. So
awesome. So yeah, do we both maybe want to see the episodes for next time? And then that can maybe be our
prompt. That's so doable on Thanksgiving break, man.
Yeah, all right. So we'll there's only 3 episodes out or something.
I think it's 3 or 4.
Okay, yeah, that's doable for sure. All right, well, next time our prompt will probably be the Money Nine and how we feel, and maybe how you feel. But yeah, those are the exciting things for me for the week. Nothing too major, but what do you have? What do you have for the table?
Yeah, so my topics for the week. The first one is a pseudo recommendation, but not in the way that I think I pseudo recommended the game Dispatch, and that was you may like it, you may not. I'm still figuring out how I feel about it. This is definitely a recommendation. It's just not my recommendation for the show, if that makes sense.
For today's episode.
But I watched Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein on Netflix.
We just watched that last night.
And so maybe we can have a discussion about it.
Yes, we can have a discussion.
I have to tell you, man.
I completely forgot to watch.
Really, really enjoyed this movie.
I did too. Yeah.
Love this movie. I have very slight criticism that I will get into in a moment. But all in all, this was a movie. I felt and it's a classic story, right? So it's I hesitate to give it credit for this, but in 2025, I feel like I do have to give credit for the fact that it didn't jump out the window in a really zany direction and try to subvert the audience expectation in the way that so many things do. I feel like it was a very easy to follow, but also heartfelt and really meaningful story that was about agency, and I just really, really love this movie. I think and I'm curious for your thoughts. I'll get through this little blurb, but when I say I have criticism, my main criticism is only that at the beginning of when Frankenstein's monster was assembled. This is the lightest of spoilers for this movie. Also, it's Frankenstein, so I don't know.
You already know the story at this point, even if you haven't read it or
pick up a book. I don't know. But Jacob Elordi, I feel like doing the new to the world version of Frankenstein's monster, and that's a tough thing to convey. But I think uniquely, I was not buying it because he just has he has a face where it's you know what an iPad is. And I have a hard time breaking that with him specifically. I don't know why.
With Jacob Elordi as the
he's too hot. He's too, Hollywood, yeah. But I love a tall man, and I feel and he's tall and lanky and, kind of that Doug Jones, if you know Doug Jones. I feel like he's I
don't think so.
He does a lot of
I'm also horrible with names sometimes. So.
You probably recognize him from some of his work, but he does a lot of work where he gets in heavy prosthetic because he's 6'8" or something.
Oh wow!
And
he should have just been the guy.
Yeah. Well, he's been working forever as the tall guy that you put in prosthetics, and I feel like Jacob Elordi is I don't want to say that's the direction he's going in, but I think he's demonstrating through this movie that's within my wheelhouse. I can be the monstrous, tall, lanky.
Well, he's I was always the hot guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I can not be that character,
But I think that he did such a good job settling into the tortured version of Frankenstein's monster, where I feel by the end of the film, I had completely forgiven the maybiness that I was feeling toward his depiction of a young Frankenstein's monster. I feel he did such a good job. Oscar Isaac, Mia Goth, I just everybody. Really 10 out of 10. I don't know if you have thoughts. Feel free to have criticism also.
I have not read the book. I have seen different scenes of the older Frankenstein movies, some of the very famous ones. And I think I've even been at parties growing up where Halloween party where in the background they were kind of playing one of the classic the black and white Frankenstein movies. I don't know directors or actors, but
yeah.
So I guess I don't have the biggest basis of knowledge on this. But like you said, it's kind of everybody kind of innately knows this story.
Yeah.
In middle school, finding out that the monster's name isn't Frankenstein is that's a a big brain moment when you're in 6th grade. But I thought the fact that it is a newer movie with the ability to use modern tech really helped convey the like a lot of like the feelings you have towards the monster where you like feel bad for him and like you kind of it I think it does a very good visual way of like getting on his side. And I don't know, like and maybe that is also maybe not some tech, maybe it is like prosthetics, or maybe it's just because it is a younger guy and it's not some like, you know, older type monster. I don't know the psychological stuff behind that. But I felt like they did a very good job of you feeling for this being. I don't know, you might not have felt that way, but I felt that way.
I did. No, the line where Mia Goth's character, you know, Victor is struggling to teach Frankenstein's monster, teach the monster like words. He's like, he refuses to say anything other than Victor. And Mia Goth is like, well, maybe that's everything to him at this stage.
Yeah.
Like his whole existence is you, Victor.
Yeah.
And like I just feel like, listen, I just feel like it spoke to bringing life into this world and what that means and what your responsibility is to that. And then also like on the other end of that, on Frankenstein's monster side, like, you know, I roll my eyes at like forgiveness being centered in stories, but I feel like this truly, like as a movie, conveyed like why forgiveness is personal, why forgiveness is not relational, forgiveness is an internal thing, and like that's what the whole thing is about. And I just fucking I really love this movie. I am recommending it. It's not my recommendation of the episode, but I am 100% recommending this movie.
It is really good. I mean, it also has, they do a good job. It kind of feels the same way like how they've made Wicked, the first Wicked, feel, which I haven't seen the second one yet, so that'll be a future one, I'm sure. But it feels very like fantastical, if that's even a word.
The Victor's castle.
Yeah,
was
the castle.
incredible.
Like I like that. Like I know some people are like, oh, it's like CGI, and I'm like, I liked it. I like the visuals of it. Like, yes, it's obviously fake. Like that castle doesn't exist. I know.
Well, we are rapidly approaching a future where everything is shot on a sound stage.
Yeah,
you know, so like
true,
that's like. You know, that's a silly criticism.
But yeah, it felt very fantastical, and all of like the gizmos and gadgets as he's hooking up to try to like harness the lightning and the coils, and I don't know, it had that you know, crazy cool visual element to it, and even the part where he goes to like, spoilers, he goes to like blow the place up because he's like, what have I done? And when he sets the place on fire and the monster's like yelling like Victor, I think that part I like got chills during that.
Yeah,
part.
literally.
I was like,
it is so good, and manages. I just think also like Del Toro, if there's one thing that is going to be like highlighted, and I don't want to say centered because it's not all this, but the vibe is like absolutely, I think, high on the priority list, and like it manages to be like a disgusting film. Like we're talking sinew and muscles.
If you don't like blood,
sewing different body parts onto the same thing, like that's all happening throughout this movie. But it's still really, really sexy, and not in like a traditional sexy way that like feels like lowest common denominator sexy. I feel like it's sexy in like a like yearning for humanity way. It feels I don't know if sexy is the right word. Like it feels primal. It feels like base human.
It's like love. It's like a love that. I know what you're trying to say. Like there's a point where Mia Goth's character, you almost get the flash of like, what is she trying to fuck this monster? But it's like no, like she's like very attracted to the like humanity of the being, like not like in a world where that might be, if it's not a monster, would be sexual. Like it wasn't in this, I guess.
Yeah, and you even saying that kind of makes me think like it's like what is like love and sex and all that together. Like what is at the center of that is being seen, and what is at the center of that is being observed in your true form. And that's what was going on between her and the monster.
Yeah,
was like, again, because his only interaction up to that point was Victor. And when Mia Goth hits the scene and meets him, she's like, I see you. And that, again, not to say that she's gonna fuck the monster, but it is.
It's like intimate, like it's
intimate is the word. I was trying to. I was pulling for the word intimate. So intimate, so good. 10 out of 10. Yeah. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. So
yeah, it was really good.
So yeah, watch Frankenstein. My only other topic of the week was I went to PAX Unplugged for a day in Philadelphia this week, and I was able to nab a pass off a friend and just kind of walk around and explore the floor. I'll show you. I think I got a deck box for Magic cards.
Ooh.
For new Magic cards that I got that features a window for your commander that you can feature.
Sweet. Is that like a?
It's a mummy, so you can take a look at the card if you want.
Sick.
Big fan of just being able to walk around and look at different things and build decks, and really, really big fan.
Game Genetic, you did good.
Sponsor us.
And you just like slide this out.
Yeah, you can. So you can slide that whole thing out, and then you can take the card out as well.
The card out,
got to walk around and do that. I got some I got play mats for playing Magic, because I don't have any play mats up to this point. And I feel like every time I see people playing Magic,
I feel like it's nice to have a play mat.
Yeah. Got to explore and do that. Maybe I'll just, I don't know, you can't see it, but that's fine. Big fan of just shopping for Magic cards and exploring. The other highlight of going to PAX Unplugged is, like we've talked about D&D and how I do the Marvel multiverse, tabletop RPG. Mm-hmm. We've done it together the one time.
I was going to say, I'm going to say real quick, for anybody who's not familiar with what PAX Unplugged is.
Yeah.
It's it's a convention specifically, and it's in the name, Unplugged. It's for, tabletop gaming. So, card games, D&D, other, role-playing games. Even, you can go into a room, and if you want to, you can go play Scrabble and Monopoly. Down to the OG board games, right? That's, what this is. It's in a giant convention center, and there's a lot of different, businesses and, I guess Matt Mercer was there the one day. There's random people like that, some celebrities. So
yeah,
to visualize, that's what it is.
Good call explaining that part, because so on the convention floor, I'm walking around. I have just spent amount of money, on Magic cards and things, and I DM a Marvel multiverse RPG with some friends online, and I see a setup that they have. And they're like, yeah, we're doing play tests for this game. You can jump in. We're about to start one. It's going to be about an hour. But you can jump into this table of 40-year-old white dudes who are about to play this game. And I was like, of course I will do that. That sounds so fun. But I kind of went in I didn't want to be oh, I played this game. I didn't want to go into the experience being actually I am an expert at this game, and I DM it once a month.
It's the Marvel one you said?
Yes. Yeah. But I have to tell you, and this is not meant to be, listen, dude running this thing, this is probably your 10th time doing this just in the weekend up to this point. But I was really validated in my skills as a DM for this experience, because I have the Marvel knowledge, and I know that, and I'm being honest about that. If it sounds cocky, whatever. But write your senator about it. I don't know what to say. But I was validated in the knowledge, but also, so I sit down at this table, and this is a set kind of playtest scenario. The storyline is mapped out to be an hour at conventions for people who are dropping in.
It's a small little one shot.
And so when I sit down, they're like, okay, well, we got 2 characters left that you could be. You could either be Black Panther or Black Widow. And I was like, well, obviously Black Panther, maybe for a hot take, but sorry, but fuck Black Widow. Anyway, so I'm T'Challa, and the party is X-23, Wolverine is there,
okay. All right.
Storm is there, Captain America, and Miles Morales, Spider-Man is the party. But even on the character sheets that they provide, it says Black Panther and Storm are that's my ex-wife. So I'm immediately okay, well, it's time to, this whole game, the combat is fun, sure, but this game specifically, this experience really helped me realize, this is like an improv game. This is a game where it's a role-playing game.
Yeah,
you take established character archetypes and histories and things like that, and you write your own. And I mean, listen, everybody's doing their best. Shout out to everybody, but like I feel like I was providing so much material for the table. I was just trying. I was like,
was it received well at least?
Like, I mean, so like for example, like when we started, the guy who was running it. And listen, again, you're great. You were attractive. You're like a great person, I'm sure. But he's like, okay, so what are all your characters doing right now? And like the guy who's Captain America, like again, no one's ever played this game before. So the guy who's Captain America's like, I'm working out, you know, like, or I'm like, and he said, okay, what are you doing? To the next person, and it gets to me, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm King T'Challa of Wakanda, and I could be doing anything in the world right now. I was like, T'Challa is locked in, he's in the throne room. There's like really boring trade meetings for Wakanda going on right now, and he's sitting on the throne and he's falling asleep. And I'm like, okay, in that scenario, what I would do, like, this is all instant in my brain. I'm like, respond and say, you're falling asleep, you know, T'Challa, and then you hear, my king, your thoughts, yes or no, you know, and you look around the room, you have no idea what was said. And then I say yes, and it's like, okay, well, now we're going to tax, like, marshmallows 2,000% as they enter Wakanda or something. You know, like just that level of improv, I hate to say.
Even, that was a good way of... you can go that route, or you can even go like, you're setting a perfect picture of T'Challa bored at what he's doing now. This is a perfect segue to get him into like something exciting, right? You know, like that. Like as a DM, you can be like, how can you tie that scenario to? Because I'm assuming he's asking what you're doing, because eventually you're all gonna
well then a portal opened up underneath all of us and we fell in. So but it was just kind of an establishment shot.
Even just being like, and T'Challa just sits there and kind of rubs his brow and she's like, man, like I'd really like to be anywhere but here right now. And then, bam, portal opens up. You know, just something like that. You know?
So it's like, part of me was like, should I reach out to these people to like do this at conventions? Because like I don't know if they get paid. I'm sure they get paid. Like I would do that and make a little money doing that, because I feel like, I don't know. All that to say, I had a great time doing the playtest. The guys we ended up getting, I think, into a good like flow, especially for people who've never done that game before. That's good. And
you're saying it was you were the guy.
I mean, not to toot my own
horn. You're like, if I
like,
wasn't there, they wouldn't have had that experience.
I don't think they would have. And then I'm bantering with Storm, you know, who's like a white guy who's like 40, and I'm like. Yeah, like I was like, oh, like we're out of the portals. We're like chained up to like the walls in a lab somewhere, about to get like lasered. And I'm like, I see my ex-wife across the room, and I'm like, hey, like how's it going? You seeing anybody? You know, like trying to keep it fun and fresh. So all that to say,
that's funny.
I love D&D and I love this game, and I feel really validated my DMing skills, because I'm like,
that's awesome.
Realizing it is kind of an art, you know, and you have it too, because you have been doing D&D your whole life. So
thank you. I hope I do. There's definitely some times where, and I think anybody who's ever DM'd a role playing game, or specifically D&D, there are times when you're starting where it almost feels like an imposter syndrome. Yeah. And it's like, you just don't realize like how much of it is improv. Like there's no, like you can make like a certain story and make sure you like steer it that way. But at the end of the day, you have no idea what these people are going to say. And like, it's very much like, if you stop thinking that you should have everything prepped and just, it's okay to be more reactionary and maybe not have like an immediate response for any which way a story could go. That's not like you like not being prepared or not being a good DM. Like if you're good with improv in some aspect, it's supposed to be like that. Yeah. And I'm glad that you got a nice like confidence boost, probably, it sounds like, in like DMing abilities and realizing how good you are with the improv of it, and like maybe because you have all the Marvel knowledge, and but yeah, that's definitely something where I think a lot of people can do it, but it's not for everybody at the same time. Yeah. And I think anybody could do it if they like really put their mind to it, but I think some people are just innately like attracted to the idea of it and have like maybe some innate skills towards it than others. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you got to do that.
All that to say,
you dropped into a random's lobby.
I dropped into a random's lobby, and we were just talking about, like doing stuff like that with strangers.
Yeah, yep.
I feel like
that's more intimate than in a video game over the mic, too.
Definitely. Yeah. I know, and and it was like one of those things too where I didn't want to like tell people what they could do, but I was like, people are like moving and ending their turns, like Captain America, for example, and like in this game, you have like a rally ability as Captain America, where as long as someone's in your shot, if you can't hit anybody on your turn, you can use your action to like, line them up, Miles Morales, like you can give a boost and then they get an auto, perfect
like action
roll, or like when they roll their dice, they get an auto like
success.
Yeah, 6 on one of their D6. So, yeah, all that to say, big fan of that. And yeah, that covers my.
Whoever Hasbro or whoever's making these games, if you're watching right now, you
send me $500, Hasbro. But
hey, I mean, it doesn't hurt to email people. Just be like, how do you become one of these people at PAX? That'd be cool if they like flew you out somewhere.
Exactly.
Put me up in a nice hotel. This weekend you're gonna have to like run DMing for this game, and that'd be pretty cool. That'd be a sweet little side gig.
Tonight I know what I'm doing. I am emailing.
Like that's all I gotta hear.
I'm emailing Mr. Hasbro to hire me, please.
Yeah, exactly.
But it kind of, what we've talked about kind of flows a little bit into my hot take. I don't know if we're ready to transition into hot takes yet.
Go for it.
Well, mainly the Frankenstein conversation. And then also my recommendation ties into this. But my hot take is mortality, like, the human condition, having a death at some point, is not necessary for a story to have stakes. And I think people lean on it as a cheap motivating factor sometimes,
Ooh, okay.
In fact, like I think it's kind of overused. And of course, it's always going to be relevant to a human audience. Like none of us are immortal, as far as I know. But but we all will die, and that's like obviously,
we're not Frankenstein's monsters.
So. But again, like something I reflected on in Frankenstein and what my recommendation is this week is just like those are stories where mortality obviously is a factor, and that like Victor is dying throughout the movie, and that's like a conversation that's not a spoiler, that's commented on.
Well, and the guy who fronts the research, he's dying of syphilis.
So it is a factor, but at the same time, like you can still have characters like Frankenstein be compelling, partially due to their relationship to that, where it's like, if I have my entire life, my life has no end date, and I'm here, and, if the planet explodes, I might just be floating out, in space for all eternity. Like, at the same time, that doesn't mean that I'm without, like, there's not purpose to be had within my life, because that's what Frankenstein is fighting through the movie, is like the what is the purpose of a life that can't end? And like the sad maybe answer to that question kind of being like the same as a life that does end. You have to find meaning in what the hand you were dealt.
He even says that he's like since you have a life, then you need to live. He says something like Oscar's character says that at one point. He's like, then why not live? Yeah, sort of thing. So the hot take then, I'm trying to understand, is you don't need to use like a major death to like convey like strong emotions. Is that
and that it's of course always going to be relevant, but maybe it's just this hot take will come into alignment when I get into my recommendation, because it's like a criticism of the recommendation that I'm giving this week, is that if characters aren't threatened by permadeath, like if characters are not afraid to die, there's no stakes to the story. And I just disagree with that so fundamentally, because I just feel like a character not, or every character in a story not being able to die, for example, like that, yes, like it makes it harder for people to relate maybe on a certain aspect, but there is still so much to the human condition and experience beyond death as like a thing. And in fact, I think like highlighting death as like this like centerpiece thing that always has to be like present and commented upon. I don't know. It's like why like our relationship, like societally, I'll say, because I think different societies have different relationships to death. But like, I think it's why our relationship to death is so fucked up in the first place, and why people are so unprepared for it, and people are so devastated by it, is because we don't think about it as a natural part of the cycle. I don't know if I'm blurring a couple points together here, but at the end of the day, this will come in focus with my recommendation. Okay. I just think that, like, you know, mortality and death, I feel like get leaned on a little too much sometimes as like an cheap.
You know what I'm
reaction.
also thinking? I feel like I can tell that you're a big comic book person because of those feelings you're expressing. Because I feel like comic books, I guess, yeah, a lot of the stories are like, they don't want like humanity to die. Like, oh, 1 million people will die because of this villain. But it's like, comic books are the world of like, yeah, they die, but you're like, they could come back in an issue. You know? Like it's very much like death isn't exactly the most terrible thing that can happen in the reader's eyes watching or reading comics. So that's, I guess, to me, makes sense that you might feel strongly about that, because it's like you consume media all the time, that it's like, yeah, like death isn't crazy. That doesn't really convey much to me, as opposed to the really fucked up like dynamic between this hero and this villain and what it causes on humanity and stuff like that. That's the point, not, you know.
Definitely that. And just like the within like a narrative, especially, it's just like there are so many ways to get me to care about a character or care about a thing or care about, do you know like the women in refrigerators trope? Do you, like, if I say that, do you know what that means?
Refrigerators.
There's this website you can go to, womeninrefrigerators.com.
In or on?
In.
Okay.
And it specifically documents in media the trope of fridging. Do you know what fridging is? If I say a character gets fridged, it's when a female character dies purely to motivate a male character. As you can imagine, there is...
That probably happens all the time.
But it's coined by, I think in the 90s, the Green Lantern run. Kyle Rayner is Green Lantern of the 90s, who I really like as a character. But he like gets home from being Green Lantern and opens up his fridge, and his girlfriend is dead and stuffed in there. So that's like women in refrigerators comes from, because it's like purely to motivate this male character. We just took this character off the board. And I think part of what my point is alluding to a little bit is like, yes, that obviously motivates the character, like, but I feel like there's a gender dynamic to that. But at the same time, it is just like cheaply leaning on death as like a motivating factor.
Like, to you, it's not creative, it's not clever, like that's more what you're getting at.
Yeah, and it happens a lot.
Technically, yes, that's like motivating, but like, write me something of more substance. Like,
genuinely, like, and people get bored of, like, in superhero dynamic, we're talking about like comics and stuff, but like people will say like, oh, like I don't want to read about Spider-Man learning how to be like a good boyfriend to Mary Jane while he's Spider-Man and also balancing his job and all that. And it's like, I think that's a legitimate challenge to convey, like, in a way that's attractive to the audience. Like, get that balancing and that problem to be interesting to the audience. I feel like that's more so the direction we should go. Because it's so easy to just kill Aunt May. It's so easy to just kill Mary Jane. It's so easy to, dangle a character off a bridge and be like, oh, they're going to die. But, like, to do really interesting character work, I think is where the real challenge comes in. And that's more so, I think, what I'm seeking in some of this stuff. And my recommendation, I will get into a little bit more of this today. All right. I like that we're both doing, like, stay tuned to our recommendation.
Yeah,
for, like,
not
points.
playing.
We're kind of,
that's we're like, stay till the end.
But that's pretty much my hot take. Right. I don't know how much sense it made as a hot take, but
yeah, I was gonna say, I think to people who are writers, I think that is going to be a topic where they would get into as more of a person who maybe just like watches something. Yeah. My initial thoughts on that, I definitely like agree. I think like it can definitely be like cheaply used, right? Like it takes no real creative effort. Just be like, all right, we'll have someone they love die, and then that'll be that. There's always that moment where they were like never gonna do the thing, and like, no, that's not how I am, and then someone dies, and they're just like, all right, well now I gotta fight them, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but the first thing that came to my mind when you said that originally was my hot take, which is a death, and maybe not a hot take, but like with a specific thing and a death. I think Ron and Harry Potter should have died.
Oh.
So that was just the initial thing that. So I was like, I don't know. Maybe there's times where I do, like, I'm like, someone does need to die.
They killed his brother, no?
Yeah, his one brother died.
That wasn't enough for you?
No, nobody fucking important died unless they planned it, like fucking Dumbledore and Snape and all that shit.
Listen, a million Potterheads are about to blow up your inbox.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. I really think Ron should have died, or even Hermione. One of the three should have died, and it's obviously not going to be Harry Potter because he's the fucking chosen one, right?
Yeah.
So
chosen one, girl, Ron. You know.
So like So it's Ron. It's Ron that dies. You know, like, I'm sorry, but no, you can't be running back all those years of, you know, just barely not dying in the most like mystical and magical ways for not one of you three to die. Yeah. And it should have been Ron, because honestly, that is Ron. He's the fucking goofy kid who doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's our boy's best friend. And the boy's best friend should have died. I think that would have been. Right. I think that would. And even in the very first movie, he does the whole thing where he makes the sacrifice. Not you, not Hermione, me. You know, and he fucking sacrificed himself. Be sick at the end if he sacrificed himself.
It would.
So, or something. I don't know. I always say Ron should have died, that was funny that you said that. It made me think of that. But I don't always need a death to be a motivator for.
And it will always be relevant. I feel like one of the hardest things to do is effectively write like a send off to a character, and I feel like we never want to do that because we are in the era of reboots, and we're gonna keep this character alive so we can milk them for 18 movies. Like, you know, we have
stop that.
We have shareholders and franchises to think about. So like, there's like a lack of commitment to it all the time. But I feel like to really effectively send a character off is really a lost art a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess I'll do my quick hot takes here. So completely random. I just had this thought the one day, and is it really an episode if I don't at least mention Pokemon for 5 minutes?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
So there's this ongoing debate about people discussing old and new Pokemon designs, and there's a big kind of like point that people make where it's just, and then insert animal's name here. So like, that's just a dog, or like there's a, you know, a lot of the older Pokemon are like this. Like, it's, you know, like Squirtle is just a turtle, right, you know, like that sort of thing. Yeah, Growlithe is just a dog. I mean, he has fire powers, but the design is like, that's just a dog. In one of the newer games-ish, I guess newer if you're considering old versus new, there's just like a flamingo Pokemon, and he's legitimately just a pink flamingo, right? And, you know, because people get in the argument of, now we're making inanimate objects Pokemon, and then they'd be like, well, that's just a flamingo, and that's kind of the point, the debate, right? Where it's like, well, you're shitting on inanimate object Pokemon, but then you're championing like y'all love just Miltank. Yeah, y'all but this is my fucking hot take. That's the whole point. The whole point was the design of Pokemon was supposed to be 90% just the exact animal they were going for, and then just give them some elemental power. Like, that was the whole shtick. This was not Digimon. This was not a little bunny turning into like a Valkyrie warrior
with Gatling guns on either arm.
Like, if you want that, there you go. But the whole point of Pokemon, and the reason why it felt like realistic, but I think the real, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start thinking in your head, like, it's easy to understand this like companionship with these basically animals is because we have that in real life. Like, it almost feels like a pet. You know, like a keychain is not a pet. You know, like it's like that was the whole point. You're supposed to like love your Pokemon, and they're like your your buddy. You know, and you like travel the world with your buddy, and you live with. They're pets. They're pets that can shoot fireballs. That's all they are. And my hot take is that that's the whole fucking point. Is they're supposed to be it's just a cow. Yeah, Milk Tank's just a cow. Like, yeah, exactly.
I think there are, and I recognize I'm blinded by nostalgia, and that's why I'm going to make the excuse for the Pokemon I'm about to make an excuse for. But I'm okay with lights, like there's a question, right? Like, so for Magnemite, right? Magnemite has magnets on either as an arm, and obviously doesn't look like an animal, and I think they're genderless and all that. But I think there's like a conversation to be had about like, you know, the development of Pokemon alongside human society and them growing to adapt certain ways because of humanity. Yeah. So like, you know,
they did that well with like the different regional types.
Yes, exactly.
Like they made like Sandshrew be ice because Sandshrew somehow ended up in like an icy region of a region,
and Vulpix.
Yeah, or like the they made a new, what you're talking about, Magnemite, and then like a new typing of them, and that could be related to like how they interact with society or whatever.
And then you have Pokemon like Porygon and Mewtwo that are like constructed. They're specifically constructed and developed. Yeah. But yeah, I think if I had to like no prize, do you know the phrase no prize?
No prize.
No prize is like, it's like a comic book term where like you know, you're reading something and there's a contradiction, but like you no prize your way out of it. You rationalize it. Like you fill in the blanks in a way that kind of makes sense within the story as to why, like, you know, her hair was blonde
that issue.
a day ago in this issue, but then brunette in this issue. Okay. Maybe she dyed her hair. I don't know. Yeah. You know, it's like that sort of thing. So my no prize for like Klefki, the key chain,
the key chain
is like that genuinely like they're like Pokemon. See, I don't know Pokemon lore. Like they are developing at accelerated rates to mirror the world around them. So like someone leaves their keys laying around, and then I don't know if like there would be like a blob that suddenly grows to look like a ring of keys, and then it reproduces with a Ditto. You know what I mean? Like, this is me. Yeah. No, this is me doing their job for them to explain why there's a keychain Pokemon. Well,
and even if there's like, you know, there are certain Pokemon where I think the lore you're talking about really is like it's Pokedex like entry, right? Yeah. So I don't know specifically all the different Pokemon entries and like why which ones are which. I think there is some of that where it's like, oh yeah, like this like I think I could be completely wrong, but like I think the Hone Edge, like the sword, like they'll pull something where they'll be like the soul of a warrior that died like went into this sword, and now it's like a being, right? Like it's now a creature, right? Like they'll do like shit like that sometimes. Gotcha. And I'm specifically thinking about like design though. And I don't know. And I'm like not all Pokemon, like I'm trying to think of like Magnemite's a good example of like how that's not a like creature that's like an animal. Like you can't look at that design and think of any animal that would be, right? Like it's just some weird amalgamation of metal and magnets. Yeah. And I don't think that's a bad Pokemon design, but I think using the debate point of saying, well, that's just an animal, and I'm like, well, you're missing the whole point. Like that's Pokemon. Yeah. And that's why people are getting mad at some of these designs, because it strays very far from that. And I think people just want to feel a connection. Like that's the whole point of Pokemon. It's like you're supposed to have this like connection to the Pokemon, and it's like when you're a little kid and you lay your head at night and you have a dream that you're in the Marvel world and I'm a superhero now, or like, oh, I'm in the Pokemon world and now like I'm, you know, catching Pokemon. You're not catching the keychain. Like that's weird, you know? So, and again, that's just my take on it. I think that is a hot take sometimes, depending on some of the discussions I've seen. But I just hate when someone goes, that's just a dog. And I'm like, that breathes fire. Like, yes.
I mean, they really jumped out the window a few years ago with this. With what stands out in my mind is the trash bag Pokemon.
Oh yeah, you know, Trubbish and like Garbodor or whatever. Yeah, terrible. And fuck?
And the ice cream cone.
Yes, vanilla-ish.
The floating ice cream cones. I feel like there are some things that we're talking about where I'm a little more forgiving. Like there's like a chandelier one. But I'm definitely more forgiving.
Chandelier, you know, yep. That is a fan favorite. People do like that Pokemon.
I don't hate that one.
That one works because it's a ghost Pokemon. Yeah. So it's almost like it's a spirit taking over an inanimate object, right? Which again, like this could also be another hot take. I'm not super big in the Chandelure Pokemon.
Okay, I mean,
but that I know that is like a crowd favorite. Like that Pokemon specifically is used like as a champion of new design, right? Newer design, or having a Pokemon that is like not necessarily a normal looking creature. Mm-hmm. I'll even say, but there's some goofy ones like what's his name, Flapple or whatever. He's a dragon Pokemon that like looks like an apple, and he like can like unfold like what were those those little things, those balls that you would flick out, and they
Bakugan.
Yes, that's what he looks like. He comes out like that, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool, whatever. I don't know. So sometimes
the flick is what helps me realize.
Yeah, that's what they do in the commercial, like Bakugan. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. It really goes case by case, and there's always going to be an overlap of people like disagreeing. But I just think some of them are crazy, and don't tell me that you can champion the garbage Pokemon with the point of saying a design looking like an animal is bad. Like, you can give me other points as to why you think an inanimate object Pokemon is viable, but that's not one of them. You know.
Can I ask you a question to maybe make your hot take hotter? Depending on
let's hear it. All right.
If you had creative control at Nintendo, and like you were like, or you were an advisor with a lot of pull.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And they were developing the next Pokemon game, and they were considering streamlining to make it more animal based in the way that you were talking about, and kind of erasing like ice cream cone, trash bag, chandelier.
Yes.
Are you doing that in the name of the brand?
100%.
Okay, that's
100%.
That's pretty hot take.
In my perfect world, yes, all those types of Pokemon would not exist.
Wow. I kind of that would be that'd be fun like bonus content. We just like run through like just Pokemon 100 Pokemon at a time, and we go yes or no.
It's like Tinder.
yeah, literally swiping left and right. Yeah.
Yep. So no, I would do away with that shit. I would be amped. Mm-hmm. We don't need do you know what the number 1,000 is in the Pokedex?
I don't know. I'm scared.
So I think it's in Scarlet and Violet, correct? So you find those little coins, and it's Gimmighoul.
Oh.
And he has a little treasure chest.
And then it turns into a trust form.
Yeah. So then he turns into a stack of gold coins into a little humanoid looking dude that like skateboards.
Oh, I've seen that.
That's 1,000 Pokemon. Are you?
Yeah.
Number 1,000 supposed to be something dope. And we have a skating pile of coins. Holy.
Robbie is swiping.
Now I'm fired up.
Robbie's swiping left on you. To be clear, when we get to 1,000, you are not making the cut.
Yeah. And they made a whole thing to be like, we're getting into 4 digits.
That explains.
We're getting over 1,000 Pokemon, and so they made a point to making the 1,000 one like supposed to be cool. Mm-hmm. And you can tell they didn't just be like, oh, it's number 1,000. That's just a coincidence. Like, no, they're like, we're doing this for a reason.
Yeah.
Fuck it. That's crazy.
Stay tuned for the bonus where we cut Pokemon from the Pokedex.
What my dream Pokedex would be. That would be pretty cool. That would be we could even live stream it. Mm-hmm. so I don't know. Hot take.
That's a pretty hot take. You might have me beat there.
It is what it is, It is what it is. And then I'll just go right in my other one here, because again, we gotta limit myself on the Pokemon talk. Another thing I was thinking this week, and I feel like this is the nice part about us getting together and doing the podcast. There's so many times where I like want to discuss a certain topic, and I feel like I periodically think about it, and then I'll forget, and then 6 months later I'm like, oh yeah, like I always feel this way when I like watch a movie that does this, or I play a game that does this, and this is one of them. What is wrong? And I'm not saying not every movie has to be like this, or TV show. What is wrong with giving us what we want at the end of TV shows and movies? What is wrong with just picking the easy, nice, like button up the story and like, and I have written down, is it like writer's ego of like being predictable or like able to guess the ending? Like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but sometimes there's just such a blatantly obvious, like, hey, just end it nicely. Just end it nicely. We don't need some crazy shit that you're trying to pull some crazy writer stuff at the end. Like, sometimes we like some complex stories, and I'm not saying every story has to be this way, but sometimes just give us what we want, and it's going to be great.
Do you have something specific in mind?
I probably should. So I have an example of a show that I think does this very well. But again, I've always said with the show, it's not breaking any records when it comes to, new ideas or complexity or like, any sort of new way of telling a story.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time I felt this way about a show, I was like, that is the epitome of they just gave us what we wanted, and it was just a nice feel-good show, and it was Ted Lasso, which I don't I think we talked about this briefly.
I have not watched
and
Ted
you have
Lasso.
not watched it. For anybody who's watching this and has watched Ted Lasso, I feel like they'd agree in the fact that kind of what I just said. It is very much like a just give us what we want. Or I'm even trying to think of like a Marvel application here, or like a comic book thing. I don't know. I'm trying, like, there's so many times I see a movie where I'm just like why couldn't you just do this, right? Or even like I'm trying to think of like things that ended badly. Oh, here we go. How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are we like doing the whole Robin thing at the end? Like,
I didn't watch it, and I know what you're talking about.
Like, just give us what we want. It's a sitcom. Like, what are we doing?
Well, that one, the premise seemed to be the zig and the zag, though. Like, it seemed to be, we're going to keep you on your toes until the very end, and they didn't want to... Again, I didn't watch it, so I could be wrong here, but, like, it seemed like part of it was going to be, like, no one can predict, like, really how we're going to resolve this.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they did it for, like, finding out who the mother is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I really think that whoever was the writer of this wanted to try to do justice towards finding love after the death of your first love, or finding love later in life.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell, like, that's what they were going for, right? They wanted to try to maybe touch on that topic in any way. And for what they did for 95% of the show, and then to end the show that way after him meeting the mother and like having like a beautiful little ending, and then for them to be like, well, no, like, Daddy, you got to move on, and like it's Aunt Robin who you love now. It's just, I don't know. I don't think that's the way you go about like bringing that kind of like topic to the forefront. I don't know. I think that's also a thing that people debate on a lot. But that's a perfect example of they made an alternate ending because people hated the ending so much.
Oh wow!
And they completely took out the whole like Aunt Robin thing. And it's great. Like, I think that in my mind, that's the ending.
Hold on. If you have to like redo the finale of your show,
yeah, they later did.
That just shows that y'all weren't committed in the first place. In my mind, like y'all, like I guess you want to please the fans, and there's always more money to be made, so sure. But like, I don't like that.
Yeah, no, it's. I am telling you, the ending really is. It's that big twist, because like he meets the mom. I'm sure you don't care if I spoil a show that's been on.
Don't spoil How I Met Your Mother for me, Robbie. Don't do it.
And they so the whole thing is that he finally like meets the mother, and like it's towards the end of the show, right? Like she is a part of the band that's at Barney and Robin's wedding, which is like the girl he used to love or still loves or whatever. And one of his best friends are like getting married to each other. And she is a part of the band at their wedding. And then they like, it's a great little meet cute that they have like out on like the train station place or whatever near the venue, or I forget exactly. It's like a bus station or something. But anyway, it's the entire show leads up to like meeting the mom. And then when they do it's kind of that moment where it's like, this is like a lived happily ever after type scenario. And then they're like, yeah, and he's like, and things are going great. And a lot of this is happening like in the last couple episodes. And then he goes, it was all going great till your mom got cancer. And it's just like, oh, fucking. And again, if we want to talk about like losing love like later in life, and like, your past experiences then led you to meet that love, and then like losing that person, and like there's a lot of things that you could tell that they were trying to like play with here, right? Yeah. And I don't know. So then he talks about that, and then she passes away, and it essentially is because the whole point is he's sitting down with his kids and telling them the story of How I Met Your Mother. Yeah. And so the whole time it's all leading up to that, and of course he like over and over and over again like has these spurts in the show where he's like, I think I'm still in love with Robin, and which they call Aunt Robin. So it's like, I don't know, I as a kid I'd be like, this is kind of fucking weird that like
you're lusting after her.
Yeah, like you know. And I was like, and they even say in some of those, like, when are we getting to like the part where Mom comes in? He's like, well, slow down, there's a lot to talk about. So then he ends it, you know, how he ends it with how they met, and he's like, that's how I met your mom. And then the kids just go, well, that's it? And he's like, well, what do you mean that's it? He's like, that was a great story. And they go, yeah, the whole story was about how you love Aunt Robin. And they're like, you got to get back with her right now. And then he pulls some shit that he pulls on the very first episode to reach out to her and like tell her he loves her, essentially.
Oh.
And
you wait, and that was how it ended the first time.
Yes, that's how it ended the first time. Yeah, and there was outrage. And again, there's certain times where you can be really complex with your writing and like try to really push the wall. I don't know. A sitcom that you have the general public just ripping on their after work hours.
Not the
just
setting.
Give us what we want. Just give us what we want. It's called How I Met Your Mother. Like, it's not called How I Met Robin. And it's fuck that.
Was Robin a character in the show?
Oh, yeah.
Robin was featured heavily.
Oh, she's one of the, Oh, yeah. So there's, 5 of them? Mm-hmm. And she is one of the 5.
Is she played by Colby?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm reserving comment on her portrayal of Maria Hill, but I do like that actress.
Yeah,
she's fine.
Yeah, it's her. She's right.
She got done dirty in the MCU.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Secret Invasion.
I saw like the first episode, and that's about it.
She dies at the end of the first episode, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I only saw the first half of it. Yeah, so I don't have too much on Secret Invasion again because that's part of the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I don't have enough time.
They didn't give her much to do.
But yeah, and maybe this is something that if someone comments, or maybe I think of a couple more examples of like why not. I mean, I feel like people feel that way with like Game of Thrones.
Oh, that was
like
what I was gonna say.
Like anytime shit ends like that, it's just like, why?
I think
why are you overcomplicating it?
But I think in like a Game of Thrones context, like that is like, them books that will never be finished, by the way, so don't hold your breath. They outpaced them, and then we're like, well, we have to subvert the audience. They even said, and spoilers for Game of Thrones, I guess. But you've watched it.
Some of it, yes.
Did you see like the final season, or?
I saw the final episode, I think. This is also a hot take. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. So I'm on fire today.
We don't have time to get into that.
Yeah.
I like it, whatever, and I like the world, but they hyped up, similar to what you're saying. They hyped up the White Walkers and the threat beyond the walls, like for the entire show. In the first episode, they say winter is coming. They say winter's coming. This is the longest summer we've ever had. I like that aspect of Game of Thrones. Like this, the length of the summer determines the length of the winter, and the summer's going on for like years. So it's like ooh. But like that, they have a character slay the Night King in Game of Thrones final season, and in. Which also this
I didn't like that, the whole where she dropped the knife and then hit him with it.
But they said in the after the episode analysis where like the producers talk about why they made the choices they did, which HBO, you're fucked for that, and that needs to stop immediately actually, because it communicates that you don't really trust the audience to sit with what you just gave them. You
tell them how to feel about it.
HBO immediately slides into a 15-minute after the episode where they say, well, we chose her to slay the Night King because nobody expected her to. That's not a reason. That's like not a reason to end the bubbling plot that you've had since season 1, episode 1, with this character destroying that. Like that's not a reason.
That was supposed to be the big bad. That's the big bag of the show.
And I'm not saying that she could not have been the one to do it, but they said they did it because that was who no one was expecting, and they want to keep people on their toes, and they want to zig where people zag.
That's what I'm saying. It's the writer's fucking ego. They're trying to do some shit that they think like I'm doing some next level shit that nobody's gonna guess. Fuck you.
But what would actually be impressive is planting seeds, and even for like what How I Met Your Mother, like. I feel like what you described was in the last few episodes there was a tonal shift, or there was a shift toward that direction that we were going. But like the skill would be planting these seeds throughout your entire project. Like that, then having that payoff that feels good.
Well,
you know,
I think the best twist, and I'm no expert.
The best twist
we've
ever.
never
Definitively the best twist.
But what I'm saying, what's good in a twist is when you're already giving them 80%. Like, you're watching something and it's like, you're like, oh, I think this is going to happen. And then it does. Like, there is a portion of what you're predicting does come true, but then the twist happens. Like, that's how you're supposed to do it. It's not just completely take away anything that anybody could ever predict and then just zig or zag, like, hard left or hard right. It's always like, you want them to be able to guess 80% of it and then hit them with that 20% that they're like, whoa, because I was so focused on the 80% and I guessed it that I got blindsided by this, and it's even has more validity then because it's not something that's completely out of left field too. It's like something where like, oh, I should have saw that, but they got me, you know.
Upon revisitation, it's so clear in hindsight. That's a twist. Yes. That's what we should be doing with that.
Stop zagging. That I guess that's what this is. Stop fucking zagging. Don't zig and zag and try to, you know, make us not be able to guess any of it because that's just I don't know. It's something where I was just like frustrated with, and I'll have to bring up some more examples. But I feel like a lot of people,
I think people know what you're talking about.
Like agree with me on that.
It's also my final note on this is I think a lot of it is like spoiler culture, and you know, like that's why, you know, to tie it into like, you know, superhero movie whatever bullshit, like they are at the point where they're filming like 18 endings for all these movies because it will leak. So they want to keep people on their toes as to what's going to happen, and it's like, okay, sure, but also it feels like creative decision by committee is probably going on in a way that doesn't center narrative and what you're describing, where it's like, well, no, we actually have to breadcrumb very intentionally in order to pull off a story with this scale and scope. You can't just film 18 endings and then choose the one that the internet doesn't seem to have figured out yet. Like that, I fear, and hey, maybe I'm wrong. I feel like that's how a lot is being driven right now. That's why things are less cohesive. You know what I mean?
People can guess the ending. That's okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean the ending's bad.
If anything, it's like good if they are. Because you've done your job as a storyteller.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Craziness. I need to cool off.
Well, while you cool off, I was going to say, I can get us into
get into
the prompt this week. So every week we discuss a prompt, kind of a question to frame maybe a larger conversation. And this week, the prompt that we're going with is, what media first comes to mind when you think of a great soundtrack?
Yeah, so I feel like you're ready to go on this one.
I am ready to go.
I've been talking too much.
I am going to have to say, first of all, everybody who's been here, you know, audience and et cetera, should know by now.
Thousands of people we have listening.
Persona 5 is just always going to have like me by the balls.
That is your.
It is.
Like that's borderline. My Pokemon is your like Persona 5. Like,
I mean,
I feel like you've brought it up, not in like where we rank the game, but just how many times you bring it up. You know?
I think I respect Persona on so many levels as a creative thing. I feel like it is such great storytelling. It's relational. You have kind of individual. I love a game that has like individual relationship meters with all the characters in your party, and as you level up, you become more effective as a team. Like you do more damage together and heal more to each other. I love that shit. I feel like it is like just always going to appeal to me. But the soundtrack of Persona 5 is genuinely like one of the. I never get sick of it. to be clear, like you hear a lot of the same music over and over. Like whenever you go to like the common spaces, you hear the same music. When you're in Shibuya, there's like the same kind of Shibuya based soundtrack plays. But it is so good. It's so catchy. It's the type of music that you just never get sick of. And actually, shout out to there's a band called the Big 8-Bit Band. I want to say, I'm gonna fact check myself. But they do video game soundtracks, like they revisit them as like a big band and like big band sound with like, you know, often a vocalist, or, you know, if the song doesn't have vocals, like some stuff off of like Zelda soundtrack they do, and obviously there's no vocals for that. But they've done several Persona songs, and they are my favorite. I just really, really, really love Persona, man. Big band. Hold on.
Like 8-bit or something you said?
The 8-bit big band.
Okay, 8-bit big band.
They have like 3 albums. The album Game Changer has 2 songs from Persona 5 on it.
Can I see like what... Do they say like what it's from?
Yeah.
Like what game it's from?
So Can You Feel the Sunshine from Sonic R.
Okay, Super Mario.
Yeah.
Link's Awakening, Final Fantasy 7. All right, yeah, that's awesome. That's super cool.
I would say check out the 8-bit big band for more of this. But I have 2 more recommendations, or 2 more thoughts on kind of what comes to mind music-wise for me when I think of a good soundtrack. Also, video game, and it's undeniable, Kingdom Hearts. Like, Kingdom Hearts has...
That's another one of your big ones.
But I feel like it's the music, and you probably would recognize songs from Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if you ever played Kingdom Hearts. I don't think you have.
I did. My one cousin had Kingdom Hearts. I remember at our grandma's house, she'd always bring her GameCube and we would play.
I remember being so impressed by Kingdom Hearts as a child, because in the opening for the second game, like that plays when you turn your PlayStation 2 on, and you click the game. Like, first of all, it's you know, English and Japanese, and obviously there's Disney characters running around on screen, but there's also like parts of the song that are like reversed audio that are playing in the song, and that was my first exposure to anything like that as a child. My mind was fucking blown. I was like, oh my god, you can like record,
like play it back,
you can play things in reverse to like, you know, just add
another message or something,
another dimension to this song that you know, in this game that's about, you know, digging deep into you know, find meaning. It's I feel like there's a lot of really meta shit going on with Kingdom Hearts, so that's cool. I have to shout out.
I never
Kingdom
knew
Hearts.
that about the songs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then parents are like, it's Satan
talking. Oh, absolutely. No, this is telling you to like kill John Lennon or whatever.
Kill John Lennon.
Which, yeah, I was obviously influenced to do that. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts, Persona 5 for soundtrack. For movies, I'm just going to say, and kind of what inspired this conversation, Wicked 2 is in theaters. I don't know if I'm going to see it. I feel like it's probably going to be a mid-movie. But it's called Wicked for Good because the final song on the Wicked soundtrack, I don't know if it's the last played, but it's definitely like it's going to be the climax of this.
Yeah.
Is the song For Good. The namesake of the movie, Wicked for Good. For Good is like an all-timer like song, and it just... You might know that song.
I might. Would you put it above the...
Defying Gravity?
Yeah. Would you put it above that?
I haven't heard Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo's rendition of this song yet, but I personally would put For Good, like, because For Good is like Defying Gravity obviously carries a lot of weight as like, this is Elphaba's kind of liberation from... Also, I don't care about spoiling Wicked. Like I like Wicked has been out for 20 years as a stage show, so you know, sorry. Yeah. But
that's why I feel like we didn't feel bad about ruining Frankenstein.
Literally,
like yeah, this has been around many iterations.
But Elphaba through Defying Gravity is able to communicate. You know, like you know, no wizard that there is or was is ever going to bring me down. Like I've achieved, you know, that. But For Good as a song, I feel like is kind of what Wicked is like actually about, and like it speaks to like, you know, like the lyrics. Who can say if I've been changed for the better, but because I knew you, I have been changed for good. You know, like if I like it's like my life, my trajectory is altered by my connection to you, and we're saying goodbye.
And it's Elphaba and Glinda.
And Glinda, yes. Okay. And obviously things then go the way that they go, but It is very heartfelt, and it's just one of those songs that always gets me in my feels whenever I hear it. Like, no matter who sang it. It was on Glee. It was a Glee song. So yeah, big fan of For Good, and that is carrying. If I do see Wicked For Good in theaters, it will be to hear that song in a theater. So,
okay,
awesome, big fan of that. Yeah, but I'm curious now that I've talked my head off a little bit about your soundtrack.
So mine, a couple of these are like very basic, but sometimes you got to own your basic takes, right?
It's allowed.
The first thing that popped in my head is a Goofy movie. The Eye to Eye.
Oh, yeah.
And again, I can't really remember too much on, like, the rest of the movie soundtrack. I'm sure there's, like, a couple good songs, but, like, in the very beginning where he, like, crashes the assembly at school, he's, like, singing the Power Line song, and then at the end when him and his dad get on stage and sing Eye to Eye, I always thought that was, like, a lit scene. Absolutely. Like, I was like, this is a great song.
It has stood the test of time. It has been proven to be.
Yeah, I was a big Goofy movie kid, and so yeah, I don't know why. That was like the first one to get the creativity flowing of like other stuff. One of my favorite soundtracks to one of the golden age of specifically Disney movies, Treasure Planet.
Oh.
So not only do they have, I'm almost positive they have Iris in that song by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Iris might be on the soundtrack, but the song that where his dad.
So this is what I think that's Iris.
No.
This might be the one you're talking about for that scene. So the lead singer of the Goo Goo Dolls makes that song. Like the world I wanna be.
Yeah.
I don't think I wanna be. Or something, you know that
things I can feel.
Yeah. I'm alive. Yeah, that one.
That song is so good.
Yeah, so that was made by the lead singer of Goo Goo Dolls just for that movie. That song didn't exist before that movie. It wasn't a radio song. They sat him down and said, "You need to make like the theme for Treasure Planet."
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that song alone. Yeah. I love Treasure Planet, and a lot of it is that song. Like, it fits so perfectly in there. Whatever, who did the Tarzan soundtrack?
That was Phil Collins.
Phil Collins. Yeah. Whatever Phil Collins, whatever extra-dimensional deity he tapped into to do that, you communed briefly with that to get that song on that soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Goddamn.
Yep. So, yeah, I really liked the Treasure Planet soundtrack, and that song specifically. Like, I like when, like, a movie or a TV show commissions an artist to be like, you are going to make a song, like, for this movie. And sometimes it goes really bad, but other times it hits. And that one I felt like hit.
You're, of course, referring to one that hit, the new Ice Spice song on the new SpongeBob soundtrack.
I did not even know that. We haven't even talked about that. There's a new movie, right?
Yeah, and Ice Spice is not only a featured character with a voice in the movie, but she is the song. So
all I saw was, and I'm glad because SpongeBob used to be the show where it had a lot of like adult jokes in it.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to bring some of that back, I guess, but in a very like Illumination type looking way. I don't know, but there's a point where, you know, to a kid, they like wouldn't get this, but like he shits a brick because he's like scared from something, and a brick like pops out from his butt, and it just like lands on his side, and it's like he just shit a brick, you know. And I'm like, that's funny, you know, like that's what SpongeBob kind of used to be, and like only the adults are like, that's still funny to a kid, like because it's goofy and like you have that kid mind, and like anything's funny, right? Even if you don't understand that that's like adult humor, but like then the adults get it. So I don't know, but yeah, did not realize Ice Spice was. But I guess we'll have to talk about that.
We'll listen to that later on.
And then I was able to think, and again, I think if we were take another week reflection, we'd come up with other things. But I have to say, and this is where I'm like, this is kind of basic, but it is what it is. I just can't deny it. Skyrim. Skyrim, just that had a crazy sound. That was very like. Cool, like original music written for it. I don't know, like specifically the location music, like the different cities, and then the battle music. Yeah, all of that. It was just, I really liked that soundtrack. It felt I felt very immersed with that soundtrack. But yeah, and then lastly, this is just a biased personal thing. And it's not even really I guess it's technically a soundtrack, but I'm speaking on the, like, once it comes to battle, those original Game Boy games, the Pokemon games, where you would go into a battle and it would be like, do 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 do, you know, like a very happy song as you're walking along the route, and then it'd be like, like when you get into a battle,
exactly what you're talking about.
And then your guy would go to low health, so he'd be in the red. It'd be like, and it's like, dun, dun, dun. And like as a kid, I was sitting there fucking stressing.
They somewhat listen. They're in whatever video game audio design, 101 class is taking place right now somewhere. Yeah. They're studying that because that is. Yeah, it gets you in. It communicates the vibe. And they can
only use so many like frequencies of notes because there's tiny little shitty speakers in the Game Boy. So it's not like they have like they can only use certain instruments. That's why I think a lot of like those games like are very easy to play on the piano, because it's like just very like simple notes in these songs. But yeah, they were able to convey that with very little, and I thought that was like good enough to put on there. That I have always remembered the being like in a big battle and you're like, oh fuck, like I don't know, it was like exciting and stressful, and so it did its job. So
it makes me think of and this is gonna be our listeners are gonna love this, but it makes me think of the from Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I genuinely think like this is like one of the best soundtracks.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It goes dun 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 dun, and then it goes oh my god, it's like a jungle set. It's like a jungle
jungle set.
What
part of the game is it in?
It's like in the Subspace Emissary. It's when Fox and Falco are featured, and you fight Rayquaza. And it's like...
Yeah, I don't know if I know that one specific. I thought you were talking about like the... no, I'm thinking of the Switch one. Not Brawl. I'm thinking of the Switch where they like... The music that they have when the thing's killing everybody. And,
wait. You
know what I'm talking about? Like, yes. I thought you were talking about that one.
I will play what I'm thinking for you after. Okay. I'm sure we can't because we'll get like claimed or something.
Exactly.
So sorry to the listeners, but if you know what I'm singing, comment the name of it below. I don't know.
If you know ball.
Yeah, someone does.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. That's no. I agree though. Those games do have some crazy, even some just like obscure. Any Nintendo game that has like very stereotypically like Japanese anime looking characters in their games, I feel like the music slaps.
They know what's going on.
So yeah, there have been times where, and I think Brawl has that influence, or in general Super Smash Bros. Because they have a lot of those characters in those games, and then they kind of pull from those games. So
let me tell you something: the Japanese do not play on a video game soundtrack. That's
yeah,
all
they do
not. Y'all, not to paint with a broad stroke, but hey,
yeah. Well, it's getting about that time.
It's getting about that time. I think it might be time to recommend something to each other in the audience.
Yeah. So everybody, we weirdly kind of like alluded to the fact of the recommendation throughout our episode. If this is your first time listening, we always give a recommendation at the end of every episode that we want either people to try or watch, and even to hear your take on it. And it might be something that you've already tried or watched, and even more of a reason to hear your take on it and hear each other's takes on things. So I can start us off if you want.
Do it.
So I talked about how I finally, I bought a game, even though I said I wasn't going to buy a game until the new year, but here we are. You might have seen this all over social media. I know some people in certain circles have. It's called Arc Raiders.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is a, I think it's like an extraction shooter game. I don't know if you ever heard that term. So I feel like the game that really put this on the map as of like recent years was Tarkov, Escape from Tarkov. I don't know if you've ever heard that game. So essentially, an extraction shooter is, and I don't know if you're familiar with that or even for people listening, it's very much like a battle royale type scenario where you are put into like a map and you want to be able to find like loot and things in the map, and also if you happen to see other people running around, you can also get in battles with them, and if you're able to kill them, you can then take their stuff. So it's kind of like, Tarkov is very basic in the fact that it's like just people, so everybody's in the map kind of like trying to loot around and find like really good items, really good guns, that kind of stuff as you level up and get better at your own skills. And then the whole point is like you can extract out of it like theoretically really at any time. So it's almost like a survival thing too. So it's like the whole point is you do not want to die, because if you do, all the items that you brought into the game are gone. You lose it, right? So there's kind of like that risk reward thing. Now, I was never a Tarkov fan, and I think it was just because it was just some like army dudes and we're looking for guns and stuff. Then there's been a lot of different of these types of games come out. I used to play one called The Hunt Showdown.
I've heard
and that one is same thing. Like you go in and like if you die, all your stuff gets left there. But there are these like monsters that you can fight in different parts of the map. And if you win, it's almost like a mini boss battle. And some are easy, some are hard. And if you win, you get like really good items from that boss, right? And you can play solo, you can play with like multiple people. But then the whole point is like, again, survival. You have to like get out with your stuff.
Yeah.
I liked that one because there was more than just trying to find another person and like kill them, right? I liked the idea of having, it's like PvPvE, right?
Yeah.
So
you have options.
There's options, right? And that is how Arc Raiders is.
I think you talked about Arc Raiders last week. You introduced it as like something you were maybe going to break your video game rule for.
Exactly, and I ended up doing that. And this essentially, the enemies in this, which this is something where I know we've had like different thoughts on when AI is good and when AI is bad. And I kind of like so the enemies, it's all like tech. And it's like AI driven tech. So they are supposed to, I don't really know how true this is, but they're supposed to be somewhat independently thinking.
Oh, wow.
So depending on what you do, they in real time think about your decisions and then react to it. How these like, there's like different drones and like robots that come, and they might dispense other robots through like a rocket system that bring them down. Like, oh, you just killed one of our drones. Okay, it's gonna deploy more in your area and try to sweep and find you. So that's what really I think I was like. I liked how the Hunt Showdown had something else that wasn't people for me to interact with and like fight. And this has both. There's other teams, and you fight like all these like different type of robotic enemies. I will say when I was talking about the communication, so there's kind of like a weird like. I think this has brought a lot of people to extraction shooters that have never played them before.
Yeah. And
there's like a big kind of like I was playing with my friend. He's like, so I'm like, all right, so like I was like, what happens if we come up on somebody and like they have like really good guns and like I'm a new player. So like I'm like, are we gonna run? Like what are we gonna do? He's like, oh well, no. It's just like a thing where everybody knows. Like you just turn on your mic and you just try to be a nice person, and like you both kind of like go on your way. Like you try to be like, hey guys, like how's it going? Like we're not trying to hurt you, we're not trying to shoot you, like blah blah blah, whatever. We can both pass through and like go about our day, right? Almost as if it was like real life, right? Like if you were in an apocalyptic situation, because that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's like an apocalyptic situation. Realistically, I mean, this is a video game, so I don't play it realistically, but realistically, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to get in a gunfight. My response 9 times out of 10 would always probably be like, hey guys, like I have guns, you have guns, like we're all good people here, let's move on, right? So people are doing a lot of that, and I'm like, well, this is a video game. We're gonna come on, man, we're shooting some people, and so there's a weird kind of like evolving social landscape in this game, and it's heavily relied on people talking to strangers.
That makes sense. I hear what you're saying, as you alluded to in our earlier part of the conversation. Just like, there being a little bit more
like an aspect of having to talk.
Social. Also, it makes it like a social game, but like not in the traditional way, where you do have to play nice versus out game somebody per se.
Yeah. Yup. And then even like when you're playing with a friend, you need to be communicating, because it is, again, it's like there is a survival aspect to it.
Yeah.
And so you do need to be communicating together. But I overall definitely would recommend it. Extraction shooters might not be everybody's like cup of tea. I certainly wasn't mine with like Tarkov. But I think this gives enough gameplay content to be able to have the element of like a battle royale type situation, but also having the enemies in the map also be a factor. So yeah, and everybody plays different. Like he said, he's like, oh, I usually don't like, I try to be very passive and like get in here and I just want to loot and then I just want to try to get out. And like sometimes I fight some of the robots, but like theoretically, he's like, I never want to be seen. And I'm the kind of person, I'm like, I'm not playing a loot simulator. Let's get the fuck in here. Let's shoot some stuff and let's get the fuck out, right? So it's kind of brings into like how you want to play the game. Like everybody's different. It's just it's almost like it feels like a social experiment. Like I don't. It's so weird.
It sounds really different. Than I mean, battle royale as like a concept has, I feel like, really taken like picked up steam in recent years.
Oh yeah.
And through that, I mean, you have your little squad maybe, but you're just shooting whoever you happen upon.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about. I realized I wanted to talk about Hunger Games a little bit. We'll talk about that maybe next time because there's a new Hunger Games coming out. But
did not know that.
even within like the context of a trailer's out, so yeah, we'll talk about that. But like even within the context of battle royale, there is still, or like we are all competing. There is still like a social thing that we can be participating in. So
no, it's very interesting. I do like, and again, it's one game where I know like my friend is a lot higher level than I am, so I kind of want to like get some levels under my belt so I can unlock more places to be able to go with him. So that requires me to have to play by myself. And I will. What I'm going to try is put my mic on, and I'll try to be solo. And when I come up to somebody, I'll talk to them, and like we'll see how it goes.
What's the downside?
I don't know. Yeah,
they shoot you, which they might have anyway. Yeah, like you're.
Yes, I don't know. We'll see, or even I'll drop into a game maybe with other people that I don't know, and they're on my team, and then we could do it. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's just something where I think it's definitely like the hype game right now.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely good enough if you feel interested in it. It's definitely a good enough game that it's worth it. And you do have to pay for it, which some people feel different ways about. But I will say it's only $40 as compared to, like the games are now like $70, $80. So it's theoretically almost half off than any other game purchasing experience.
Yeah.
So I do respect that. This is a game where people are putting a lot of hours into it, and I feel like they priced it accordingly, I guess, or better than most, So I do appreciate that. Like I do still like the idea of buying a game if it's done right. As opposed to like a shitty free game.
Yeah.
So this is kind of that in the middle thing. So yeah, that's the recommendation.
Nice.
From me. So maybe I'll have some updates next time.
I was gonna say, I feel like we're gonna probably talk about this a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're early in your
very early. I've only played a couple games so far. Like I just kind of downloaded it. So, but yeah, I'm curious to see how it goes. Yeah. What do you got for us this week?
This week, and this is something that I have definitely talked to Robbie about a little bit in the past, when we have talked about doing the podcast before.
So fun fact for any listeners. A year ago, we recorded like a good amount of episodes.
It was at least like 4 or 5.
Yeah, a good amount of episodes where we did it a little differently. I'm glad that we've evolved now into the setup we have now. But it was us getting our feet wet with this whole situation. And this was something that he recommended before. And I like how you're still heavy on it. Like it's something that you will always give as like a prime recommendation.
It is the Bible. And it is it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone who like kind of has got a sense for where I'm at as like an X-Men fan especially. But it is 2019's House of X Powers of 10. by Jonathan Hickman, and there's a few artists, but Pepe Larraz and R.B. Silva are the artists. First of all, as a collected work, I have to shout out Tom Mueller is the name of the designer of these hardcovers, and every hardcover made in this era of X-Men is designed by this guy, and they all have they're just really fantastic graphic design work, tasteful, not too much. But this story is the launch of my favorite era of X-Men period. This is 2 series, so House of X is 1, and
I'm gonna give him one of these.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give him one of these.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. That's what it looks like. I'm trying to get no glare in it.
But this is the X-Men's beginning of the era of Krakoa, which a lot of people would probably have familiarity with now through Marvel Rivals, where Krakoa is a stage where you can fight. This is how the X-Men established that, and it's very radical. This is a controversial text. X-Men fans either love it or hate it, and I would say that most of the people who are writing X-Men books right now hate it. And that's why their comics suck, because I think that they're not aware of what. And that's a direct shot at.
Go off.
Listen, Gail Simone, enemy of the pod. I'm sorry, and Gail Simone created the women in refrigerators trope. She named it, but she is not an X-Men writer that I support. And
all right. Well.
I think it's because she's not centering some of the stuff that we talked about in this, which is. So we were talking about death and all that. First of all, I have to say, it's called House of X, Powers of 10, even though it's an X for 10, because it's a quadruple entendre. But basically, obviously X-Men, Professor X, the X gene, that contributes to that. But this story takes place across 4 timelines. And it is, it's a little, I don't want to say pretentious, but it goes based on exponents. So literally to the power of. So, and I'll maybe hold this up to the camera, but X to the power of 0, which is 10 to the power of 0 is 1.
Which is 1.
So that's year 1, when Charles Xavier's founded the X-Men. X to the power of 1, 10 to the power of 1 is 10. So that's year 10 of the X-Men, which is the modern Marvel universe, which is a little wonky timeline-wise to say that 60 years of comics happened in 10 years, but the point stands. X to the power of 2, 100 years in the future, from the moment we're in right now, 90 years in the future, there's a terrible war happening. And then X to the power of 3, 1,000 years in the future, and you see what the state of the X-Men is 1,000 years in the future. And that is so high concept, sci-fi, stupid. I'll show you. I'll hold this up a little bit. You see, across time, kind of different, beings we follow.
Are they the different leaders of the X-Men, or?
Well, it goes Charles, Nimrod the Greater, and who's not an ally to the X-Men at all, and this being who. I don't know that we ever get the name of, but is 1,000 years in the future and is doing things. But when I say when I talk about death today as a theme, one of the controversial things that this book did was there is a raid on a space base where they are finalizing AI. They are developing the mutant killing AI that is present in all of the X-Men future timelines where we're all in camps and, humans, mutants, and alike are subjugated by technology. The X-Men raid a base, and it's Scott, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, a whole bunch of other people. They get on this base and are immediately rocketed. Half of the team dies instantly, and then they are our ship is gone. We don't have a way home. This turned into a suicide mission, but we're committed. And one by one, you see them all sacrifice themselves for the cause, including Wolverine falling into a sun, Nightcrawler teleporting him out there to destroy something. Nightcrawler is vaporized instantly on this page after teleporting Wolverine out. They're orbiting the sun, so it's all that. Cyclops dies. He gets his brain kind of blown out. Jean Grey feels it, and then she gets ripped apart by Sentinels. It is gruesome and I remember reading this as it came out, which was so incredible. Part of what the X-Men's founding of Krakoa was they have figured out resurrection. They have figured out how to psychically back up every mutant that's on Krakoa.
That's what I was saying earlier. In the comic book world, people are just always coming back.
And I love this too, because this is almost like a canonization of the meme of like, well, death doesn't matter in X-Men. People die and it's a revolving door. This,
and of course, they're all naked.
And you come out of pods covered in. I will hold this up for the audience. And also, this is a spoiler, but this is the beginning of the conversation. Is, you see the X-Men having emerged naked from the orange eggs that they regrow the bodies in, and their psychic backup from right before they went on the mission is present within the body, and it weirds a lot of fans of these characters out, because they're like, well, this is like pod people. This isn't the character. This isn't the Cyclops that I love. This is a psychic backup clone that thinks it's Cyclops. But in my mind, yes, it is weird sci-fi craziness, but this is the purpose of this sort of media. It is supposed to engage in these things that kind of make us uncomfortable. And also, to critics of this work, this is not portrayed as this, like, yes, it's triumphant, and it is like, the mutants have defeated the last bastion, being death. We have defeated it. But the story goes on from this point, and it's not celebrated even by all the characters on the page as something that they think that the X-Men should be doing. And Captain America, for example, who has had working relationships with all these characters for years, is upfront about his discomfort with this.
He definitely is, I'm sure, does not fuck with it.
Not just the resurrection aspect, but the way that the mutants, they do exclude humanity from this. And it's a secret at the beginning, but then when it comes out, it is not something that humans have access to. And the humans are protesting in the streets. They're like, so, by virtue of lottery, you get to be immortal, and I am denied that by being a human. It is conversation. It is about identity. It is about, different subcultures and groups. It is everything that I love about X-Men, and I cannot recommend this work enough. It is high concept and crazy, but I think if you are interested in X-Men, there's some work that or some stuff you might want to read before you get into this, just so you can truly appreciate the moments that come. They also apply blanket amnesty to every villain that's a mutant across the world. They say, you have blanket amnesty to come to Krakoa and start over. And they take it.
Wow.
And you get some really interesting examinations of that. Obviously, some of them still choose to, be like,
is it almost supposed to be like a rehabilitation effort? Like, if they choose to do that, they might come out then, like, not an asshole?
The concept, the framing of Krakoa's founding is Charles Xavier projecting his mind into the minds of every human across the world and saying, we've done the math, and mutant kind will be the dominant population on Earth in 10 years. Again, a lot of 10, a lot of X, a lot of that motif.
10 of the first.
In 10 years, mutants will be greater than human on this planet, and we want to do this intentionally. We don't want there to be war. We don't want to nuke the planet and then none of us have a home. We want to ensure a world where humans still exist, but mutants definitely exist, and we have the power to maintain that through Magneto, who could flip the poles and flood all of you. Like, it's kind of, and again, like, it's statecraft. They are founding a nation, so there's conversations about that. The first issue, Magneto brings representatives. This page is kind of falling out, but Magneto brings representatives from all across the world to a very controversial location in the Middle East, and literally says, I brought you here because the power dynamics fundamental to your planet are shifting, and this place that is a place of conflict, a place of faith, like he literally says, and it's I mean, a little wild. He's like, you have new gods now. Your place in not just society, but like the world, like human history is different from this point moving forward, and It is just everything I love. It is everything I love about X-Men. And Magneto gets to be a good guy, but also one who, I don't know. I also just love that when humans see Magneto in any capacity, like they shit their pants. Like, everybody's afraid of Magneto. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, you are the terrorist. Like, and he's like, you can call me Ambassador. You can call me Ambassador Magneto if you'd like, So, again, recommend House of X. I cannot talk about it enough. I should stop because, I can feel it.
Yeah, no, that's very, I feel like people like when people are passionate about something, and I feel like that further convinces people who might be on the fence of doing something like, oh no, that person really like seemed to like it. I could like it like that too, So, no, I think that's a cool dynamic, I guess they got going on there with the resurrection and everything. So
I may recommend some more stuff like kind of within this world, so maybe we'll talk more about it. But aside from that, I know we have talked a whole bunch today. We have really gone in.
It's about that time.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you have any final thoughts for the pod today.
I don't think so. I mean, it's the same final thoughts every time.
Yeah.
This is Thanksgiving break week, so I don't know how much we'll get to it this week. But we promise to have some social media incoming soon.
Something, yeah. Stay tuned.
Yes, so it'd be nice to link like, hey, follow us here. Our personal accounts, our shared account for the late game link. LGL.
LGL.
Shirts incoming. No, shirts are not incoming.
I would wear a shirt.
Yeah, true. Yeah. That could be cool. That's what custom ink is for. No, not the dig on
custom ink. Custom ink. Shout out custom ink.
Not to end the episode. Fucking with custom ink.
This is not sponsored, but I don't think we're above a custom ink sponsor.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Send us $500.
Yeah. Yeah, but as always, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Thanks for making it through the whole episode.
Thank you.
And as always, I guess enjoy the week.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. Or
if you celebrate or just have some time off from work.
Yeah.
Enjoy it. Maybe try some of the things we talked about. Some of our recommendations, or give us something that you are playing this week.
Oh yeah.
Give us something.
Games,
you could be the first commenter.
And we would have to acknowledge
Who knows?
you.
We'd have to. So, there's no way. There'd be like fucking red bells going off, like alarms going off. Yeah, so.
All right.
Yeah, it was a good week, and thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Peace.
Peace out.